Video games rarely change the direction of the industry, but in 2002, Blizzard Entertainment captured lightning in a bottle with Warcraft 3: Reign of Chaos, a real-time strategy game that would shape the future of video games for decades to come. Well, 18 years later, that iconic game is getting a refresh and everyone is waiting to dive into the reimagined world of Azeroth. My name is Kodiak, and on the horizon today is Warcraft 3: Reforged. Warcraft changed the direction of gaming forever in more than one way. Don't believe me? Here's just a few examples. Warcraft pioneered the hero unit, a singular combat character that brings powerful stats and special abilities to the table. They also introduced one of the most robust world editors at the time, which led to the creation of games like Defense of the Ancients, Elements Tower Defense, and of course, Dota. These games, while popular in their own right, helped inspire developers across the world to take the ideas introduced in Warcraft 3 and create some of the most influential games and genres we enjoy today, like the MOBA and online battle arena. Of course, Warcraft 3 also provided the backdrop for one of the most iconic MMORPGs in history, World of Warcraft, and while it wasn't the first game to pioneer the genre, it certainly has left its mark on video game history, and that's all thanks to Warcraft 3. Nearly 2 decades after the release of Reign of Chaos, Warcraft 3 is getting a complete overhaul from the ground up. But what does that mean for you, the player? Blizzard says that Reforged is going to be an extremely faithful remastering of Warcraft 3 that includes content from both Reign of Chaos and the Frozen Throne. The game will feature 62 missions across Kalimdor, Lordaeron, and Northrend, over 40 hours of gameplay, and over 4 hours of Reforged in-game cutscenes. The biggest changes, however, are under the hood, with Reforged boasting new graphics and new animations with 4K support. Additionally, every unit, map, and texture has been reworked from the ground up, and the UI is getting a much-needed facelift to come more in line with modern RTS games. One final change, players will now be able to choose different variations of their favorite heroes, swapping between male and female characters. Of course, some more gameplay-centric things are changing as well, like unit pathing, which was a big sticking point back when Warcraft 3 was released. On top of that, some of the single-player content has been reworked to fit into the Warcraft landscape cemented by World of Warcraft, such as the iconic Calling of Stratholme, which will now more closely resemble the MMO dungeon. It's certainly true that Warcraft 3 is getting a fresh coat of paint, but it's the flexibility and system changes that should really turn heads. For instance, everyone knows that custom games were one of the highlights of Warcraft. It opened the doors to countless new experiences and gave us some of the most iconic games we know today. But what really impresses me about Warcraft 3 Reforged is that all previously created custom games are compatible with the new game. This means no downtime, no waiting for new maps, and the much-needed spotlight to get players queuing up for these storied games is front and center. It's an impressive feat, one that only Blizzard could pull off, but it means giving players access to the game modes that define their childhood, like Wintermall Wars, Footman Frenzy, Angel Arena, and of course Sheep Tag. I, for one, am excited to jump right back into custom games, and with a new wave of creative video game fans at the helm, I'm sure new games will pop up shortly after launch. Blizzard has also guaranteed a more user-friendly experience from the moment we fire up the game, bringing modern features to the multiplayer experience, which should make searching for games and playing with friends easier than ever before. While never a juggernaut in the world of esports, Warcraft 3 certainly shouldn't be sidelined when talking about the competitive game landscape. Here too, we see changes that should make it even easier for players to experience competitive Warcraft for the first time. One of the biggest changes is the introduction of faction-based matchmaking. I can say from experience that skill doesn't always transfer across the various playable factions, and the team is taking that into consideration this time around, judging players based on each individual faction. This is a stark contrast to the old days where players would have to make new accounts in order to maintain 4 separate ranks. In theory, this should lower the bar to entry for a lot of players, but of course no system is perfect and there's always the chance you'll run up against someone vastly superior to yourself, but overall, the system should perform better. Additionally, a multitude of balancing changes has already gone into effect during the beta period that changes the effectiveness of units as we once knew them. With a renewed focus on the series, the team has stated that large gameplay changes will be hinged around competitive play, and that the team will work with pro players to make sure balance is as close to perfect as possible. WARCRAFT 3 is an iconic game, no one can deny that, and the team at Blizzard has done everything possible to bring the game back to its former glory with a complete overhaul of the look and modernization of the systems that matter, but it remains to be seen if the game can garner the attention it once had. Once one of the most revered companies in the gaming world, Blizzard's reputation took a massive hit in 2019 with its handling of the Hong Kong protests. Luckily for the company, people's memories are short, and their desire to play great games usually comes before all else. WARCRAFT 3 hits the PC on January 28th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and can be purchased for $30 right off the Blizzard Battle.net. But of course, I want to know what you guys think. Has Blizzard done enough with WARCRAFT 3 to entice you to come back, or is the game getting a hard pass? Let us know in the comments section below, and remember, if you want more On the Horizon videos in your feed, like and subscribe to the channel. My name is Kodiak, and from everyone here at Legion Gaming, thanks for watching, and play on.